Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of The Selfish Adventure. And I think I'm going to call this one The Authentic Lie. And I'll unpack that title in a moment. But I'm here with some stallions, some mighty galloping horses, very majestic, very noble animals. And I'm next to them today because, I'll be honest, what with my crazy ADHD brain and everything, even finding the intention or the will to keep going on this project has sometimes been a struggle, because the way my brain operates is that I get so caught up on an idea and I attempt to execute or fulfill that idea, and as I'm doing that, another idea pops up, and it's by the time I've started working on this original idea, the other one pops up and it's far more interesting, and I drop what I'm doing on the first idea and I go over to the second idea, and it keeps repeating. And in terms of my personal life right now, this year, I've been accomplishing, or I'm very close to accomplishing something that I've wanted to for a very long time, and I can tangibly see this said goal being completed. It's like right there on the horizon. And so, horses gallop and they keep going, and they have powerful legs and they keep moving. And so I want to make sure that I have powerful legs. I'm tall, I have long legs, but that doesn't mean they're powerful necessarily. And I want to just keep moving, keep running, keep going, no matter what it is. And so, The Authentic Lie, that's what I'm titling this. What does that mean? Well, I think about what my authentic self is, who I really am. And I really don't know. Can't answer that question. What with my ADHD brain, and what with, like I just described, how my brain works in terms of like, oh, that sounds cool, I'm going to do that, and it's so cool, it's really cool, and I'm diving into it, and it's like, whoa, look at that, that's even cooler, and I dive toward that, and as a consequence, I'm not going to say I never accomplished anything, because that's not true, but I have the sense of, I can never, it's hard for me to settle into my accomplishments, because I feel like they're so few and far between. Sorry, I had a bug crawling on me that I was trying to get off of my arm, and that didn't want to come off. So that's what I was distracted by there just now. Anyhow, the more I think about, who I really am, who any of us really are, the more I think about that question, the more I find it hard to answer, because my internal life is sort of like a beehive, or my thought process, or the way my brain thinks. I think that's the best way to describe it, is it's like a beehive, and sometimes I don't feel like a person, I feel like a swarm of bees. And it's in terms of the constant buzz of activity in my brain, and the constant movement and feeling of needing to accomplish something, and I'm not accomplishing, and that mad rush of activity. But that can translate into feelings of depression and feelings of apathy, because I get so the buzz gets so intense that I just shut down, and then I think it's all, oh, it's too much. It's too complicated. The whole life, everything, the accomplishing my tasks, it's all too complicated, and the beehive buzzing gets so intense that I have to shut it all down and just stop. And so you look at the rest of the world, you look at the rest of human society and human industry, it's all this mad rush, it's this hamster wheel, and where are we going? What are we doing? What is the end goal? And people have their own individual end goals, I guess, but I think that sometimes at least, I think that the baseline problem is that we all have is just where we keep going and we keep going, and we don't realize what we're doing, or we don't have a clear grasp or end goal of what we're trying to accomplish. It may just be, it's like, well, you know, none of I think what it's going on is that none of us really know what is going on, and so we just keep this activity up and keep on, you know, playing sports and going to offices and working and, you know, creating all this, you know, passive, you know, entertainment that only lasts for a second and moves on, like the social media platforms produce. What are we all working towards? What is it all? What's it all going toward? You know. So the authentic lie. Okay. I chose that title for this episode because, going off of everything I just said, I think that when we're children, there's sort of this lie, I think, that's told to us that life has been road mapped, that life has been figured out by the adults, by the people older than us. And so we go through school and we go through all the programs we go through, and the pitch that's given to us is that once you go through these steps, once you go through A, B, C, D, E, F, all the way to Z, once you do all that, then you'll have figured out life, and then you can join the rest of us all. We've all figured out life, and we're all just working through life. But nobody's figured out life. So what they teach you in schools, what they present to you, is all a bunch of, you know, mindless, you know, goal games, activities. It's like in the Phantom Tollbooth, that book, there's a character who is frantically he has a pair of tweezers, and he's frantically moving one pile of sand from one location to another with a pair of tweezers, and he's doing it very intensely, and it's his life's mission, but it's such a pointless goal, and it's frustrating and it's tedious. Why do it? Well, I think we all feel like we have to do something. We all have to find our own specific hamster wheel. We all have to build our own Rube Goldberg machine. And the idea that we have to do that, I think, is a lie. And I call it the authentic lie because I think it has to do with, you know, we feel like, you know, if we just keep on doing this, eventually we'll discover our authentic selves, or we'll achieve our authentic purpose. You know, we'll be doing what we're supposed to be doing. And I'm not so sure that that's true. I don't think anyone has any idea what we're supposed to be doing at all. I think we're all just flailing blindly. I think we're all just like I think the state of humanity is, however many, you know, millions, I don't know how long humans have been on this planet, but however many millions, thousands, billions, whatever years that humanity's been on this planet, we've spent that whole time flailing, and we're continuing to flail. We've made progress in terms of technology, right? I mean, look at these buildings that have been built around me. Look at these awesome horse statues that are behind me, you know? Look at the cars. Listen, you can hear cars that are driving by. You can see them maybe in the background. We can do some cool stuff, and we've worked to make our lives, our collective lives, very comfortable relatively to how they were before, and relatively easy. But I think, but of course, there was a lot of frantic industry and a lot of frantic production behind the creation of everything that surrounds me. And, you know, it's cool that these things were made, but did these buildings solve the human condition? Do those cars solve the human condition? No, they're just things we can do because we can, and they make life easier for sure. But I think that humanity's current state that we're in, I don't know about you, but I personally am feeling a generalized sense of disorder and chaos in the world at large. And look, that may just be, you know, a situation where we're interpreting things to be worse than they are. And if you look throughout history, things have been bad pretty much all throughout history. There's never been a perfect time in history where nothing bad was going on. But still, having said that, I still feel like our time in history in particular is uniquely screwed up, uniquely challenging, uniquely strange. Because I think we're all in this frantic state. We're all realizing the frantic state of society is kind of not going anywhere, I think. And we're starting to realize that, and I think there needs to be a collective, okay, hold on. What are we even doing? This frantic industry, this frantic production, this frantic need to keep, you know, keep impressing ourselves on the world. What are we really hoping to accomplish? Because I don't know, I'm not satisfied. I've come to the point where I don't think that humanity knows what it's doing anymore, and that can be, you know, you can certainly see that as frightening or concerning, and it is to it in a way. But I also think of it as liberating and freeing in a way, because we can all step back and sort of like start over, maybe. And the idea of starting over as a society, as the human race, obviously sounds very scary and crazy, and there's a lot of for some people, and there's a lot of people who think, no, let's just hold on to tradition. Let's just keep on doing things exactly the way we've been doing it, because that's worked out so well, right? And let's just bury ourselves in traditional values and the traditional way of doing things. And I'm sorry, but I don't think humanity collectively understands itself, and I think we need a radical change of direction, because I've never understood the idea of tradition as good in itself. Tradition's meaningless, really. It's like, okay, we've been doing things for the same way for a long time, so what? It hasn't been working, I don't think. I think the authentic lie is that if you discover your authentic self, you've made it. You've achieved. You've won at life. You've achieved what life is all about if you discover your authentic self. Because I don't think any of us know our authentic selves. Because I don't think humanity knows its authentic self. I've started to stop thinking of myself as an individual and thinking of myself and my brain and my consciousness and my life experience as part of a shared consciousness, of the shared consciousness of humanity. I think that that's what I am. I don't think I'm an individual anymore, really. I think that I'm a specific emotion or a specific memory, or I think I'm like an emotion or a memory of the collective brain, the collective experience of humanity. And it might be more than just the collective experience of humanity. It might be the collective experience of all life, of everything. And so I think that maybe, the confusion I have of in life, the way I look at the world, and I'm like, what is going on? Who am I? Where do I fit into the world? I look around at the world and I realize everyone's really asking that question. If we really dig down deep, I think everyone's asking that question, not just me. And you spread that out more and you realize that it's the whole crisis of belonging and meaning. That if I'm going through that, and if all of humanity is going through that, and if all life is going through that, I don't know, I find that very, very comforting and very, very inspiring, because it makes me think, oh, we're all on the same page here. We're all experiencing this confusion together. And that really makes me feel safer, I think, because if we start to embrace the collective confused craziness we all experience, if we start to come together and embrace that, I think that could very well lead to a greater understanding amongst all humanity, and a decrease and a bringing down of humanity feeling unsafe, of any of us feeling unsafe, and of any of us having the desire, having the urge to lash out against our fellow man, because we all share in this collective experience of confusion. And I think that that's beautiful. I think that if we could just focus on our shared experiences and our shared pain more as humanity, that just might get us closer to getting us out of the mess we're in. I don't know, but that concludes episode 2 of The Selfish Adventure. And I am very much fired up again, and in terms of the direction this adventure is going. Thank you all.